we do upload in here on a daily. It's really Arsenal to step up the Victor Gyokeres pursuit after getting the deal of Ricardo Calafiori done and dusted. Nicolo Zaniolo, it's a here we go. And then Nuno Tavares, looks like there is another club that is going to hit to line up to obviously show huge interest into signing him at all from the club of Arsenal. Welcome to this channel. It's the Rokani Media Football. Hope you guys are really getting in the sync as well. Now, Kutanda Pivo, thank you for watching in 3. You've been waiting for me. Here I am. Richard Fenny, thank you for obviously watching, and I'm here to obviously bring you these stories. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly to the fullest, because in here what we do is to bring you the latest news and information as far as this is concerned. I've already gone ahead to bring you a story of Ricardo Calafiori, who is really like 4 steps away from joining Arsenal, because Arsenal have gone ahead to make a proposal to him. The story has already gone ahead to be appearing into your video section. You can as well go ahead and video watch it from there, and I'm here to obviously bring you more stories. And looks like Arsenal have gone ahead to make Ricardo Calafiori their priority signing for now, get him in, and after getting him in, they're looking at a man known as Victor Gyokeres. But one thing that most of you never knew is that Victor Gyokeres had been injured, and looks like he has gone ahead to heal, and this obviously helps to really put his transfer to Arsenal into a proper journey as expected. Now, Leonino from Portugal has always told us that Victor Gyokeres will return to the Cristiano Ronaldo Academy Sporting's training facility on Thursday, July 4th, fully fit from his meniscus surgery. So this guy went ahead to obviously undergo a surgery, if you never knew, and the surgery was really done well. And I remember when Sweden was playing its friendlies, you know, after the end of the season, I was like, why is Victor Gyokeres not part of the Sweden team? And this is when I got to know that the guy was injured, and there was no need for him to obviously be really hurried into the mix. And it looks like he was really getting ready for a side of this transfer to obviously coming through and play for the side of Arsenal, because everything looked like right for him at that juncture, and Gyokeres has been one of those that you have to obviously be looking at any time from now. And the fully fit Gyokeres is returning to training on the 4th of July to train with Sporting Lisbon and obviously see how Arsenal are really going to be doing the needful. And that is the first update from this deal of Gyokeres, that you people needed to know that he has been injured, and maybe worry has been there, but worry is no longer there, because the player has shown huge intent that he has healed, and he has to see to it that he does the needful to obviously join the Sporting Lisbon side to be fit by the time the deal of Arsenal comes to an end. Now today, Standard Sport has come out and obviously put out this story, and I found it very important to come in here and report it to you, the viewers of this channel, that is the Rokani Media viewers, into the mix. And this is what they told us. Arsenal have made a final decision over the preferred striker target, with Victor Gyokeres coming out on top ahead of Victor Osimhen. It means the Gunners could step up their pursuit of the Sporting forward in the coming weeks, who is currently available for £85 million release clause. Now, open your ears and cleanse them, because this is something important for you to take in if at all you really want Victor Gyokeres at Arsenal. Looks like Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously see to it that Napoli are clinging on the 120 million euros release clause. Yet the release clause of this guy is 20 million less than that of Victor Osimhen. And if Arsenal is in, when you look at Osimhen, when you look at Victor Osimhen and his age, he's 25 years of age, right? And this year, Victor Osimhen is going to be making 26 years of age on 29th of December, right? Now, even this guy is 26 years of age, though he made 26 years, I think, towards the end of May. That is Victor Gyokeres. And there is no age factor that you can come out and really hinge on and say, all right, this one is 25, the other one is 26. They are almost in the same age range, meaning that Victor Osimhen is just 6 months younger than this guy, and by so doing, they are almost in the same age bracket. So that factor doesn't really come out to really stop a deal like this from happening, you know. And the other big factor is all about the money. 106 million pounds for Victor Osimhen, 85 million pounds for Gyokeres. And Gyokeres has really a bit of an advantage that he is one of those players that played in the championship. And when you've gone ahead to play in the championship, it's like you're playing in the Premier League, because I tell you, the championship is more tougher than the Premier League. If at all you've gone ahead to watch those games, the intensity at which these people play at are really huge. So allow me go into the live chat and really drop in this poll. I want you people to vote. Tell me, who would you prefer to be the next striker of Arsenal? You know, who do you prefer to be AFC's number 9? Right? All right, we are having Osimhen, and Gyokeres. Now, let me see what your thoughts are, because I know all of you really have different thoughts about this. There are those that believe it should be Victor Osimhen. There are those that believe it should be the other guy, known as Gyokeres. Now, I've gone ahead to put out the poll. Go ahead and start voting. And at the end of this video, I'll obviously come in through and reveal what your votes have gone ahead to be and who do you prefer to come in through and do the needful. But Arsenal are like, before we go for Gyokeres, we have to get the deal of Calafiori done and dusted, and that's what they're really working on. And I know if all goes well, by the end of this week, Arsenal would have gone ahead to put the deal of Calafiori to an end, I tell you, because I know when Arsenal really attack and when Arsenal really show huge intent to sign a player, Calafiori is one of those that they are looking at. Calafiori is going to have to give them green light, and they are like, we should obviously go ahead and obviously sign him in at the club of Arsenal. So after that deal, they'll obviously step up the pursuit of Victor Gyokeres. And Arsenal are really lucky that they don't have any competitor. That is it. Arsenal don't have any competitor. That's it. Because I believe if they had any competitor, they would have gone ahead, obviously, go ahead and chase in for Victor Gyokeres. And you remember it well on Benjamin Sesko, when Arsenal had competitors, you know what they did? They went ahead to put their proposal onto the table of Benjamin Sesko, until when his agent and Sesko made up their mind to stay at RB Leipzig. You remember that very well. And for the deal of Ricardo Calafiori, they know to it that there are 3 teams in the race. Though Juventus is really stepping out because Bologna cannot really sell them a player, as they went ahead and obviously agitated them on how they really got the deal of Thiago Motta to Juventus done, and now Bologna is like, we are not going to sell you any player, you know. And Chelsea has stepped in and Arsenal is in, so that's why Arsenal is like, we should obviously put in a required shift that we step in and stop this from not slipping through our hands. And Arsenal like, we need to revenge with this Chelsea team, because they did the same thing on Mikhailo Modric, and we have to obviously come in through and stop them anytime from now. That is the side of Arsenal for you. So Arsenal is really a very good side, and I love it on how they do transfers. And in this coming era, or in this era of Edu and Arteta, they've almost gone ahead, obviously, getting all the signings they've always wanted. And for Victor Gyokeres, will obviously come in through as a number 9 for Arsenal, and that will create a lot of room for competition in as far as who is leading the line of Arsenal is really concerned. With Kai Havertz ending the season on a high, with every Arsenal fan positive that if at all he starts that line or leading the line next season, he can get 20 Premier League goals. Gabriel Jesus is another one who is really injury prone, and there are some of us who believe that if at all he keeps himself fit this man will obviously score you 20 goals a season, something that he has gonna hate to fail because of the injuries that he has always gonna hate to obviously getting through. Because in the season he came in through, scored 11 Premier League goals, remember that very well, but he spent 3 months out. Last season he didn't really play very many games. The knee kept him out on 4 different occasions as far as the season really went on. So can he keep himself fit? That is the most important bit of it all, because he uses a lot of energy. And remember, that knee that got injured is the pivot of the body that he uses to turn and obviously press into the mix. So we are here waiting to see how that pans out. But for Gyokeres, I know he's a very good striker, and that's why I'm gonna obviously put it into the comment section to see to it that you guys coming through and tell me what your choice is. Are you going for Gyokeres, or you're going in for none other than this guy called Victor Osimhen? Remember, for Victor Osimhen, he's on holiday. He's yet to return to train with Napoli, but the buyout clause is still there. The buyout clause is still there of 120 million euros, something that Arsenal feel like it's really too much. So this boy ticks a lot of boxes, and I understand why Arteta is in for him, because he's not gonna be a novice to the Premier League. Coventry, during his time there, played in the Carabao Cup against Premier League teams. Coventry played against Premier League teams in the FA Cup, and he showed some huge intent to obviously come in through and obviously cause a lot of havoc to those teams. So for me, I believe that Arteta loves the player, and that's why there's so much in for him. And it's said he has been chosen ahead of Victor Osimhen. That is from the Standard, right? And you can as well read the room from what Fabrizio Romano has always gone ahead to say, that the side of Arsenal want Gyokeres, but they look at that fee as being overpriced, and Arsenal don't want to be ransomed. Arsenal have come out and obviously said that they want the player, but they will only find it very viable if at all the price is knocked down. And Arsenal are like, at £60 million, we can obviously get the deal of Gyokeres done, and we can give you the amount of money that you want. And remember, Arsenal looks like their plan of signing a striker and their budget was between 50 to 60 million pounds. Remember why they had gone in for Benjamin Sesko, 55 million pounds that were required for Arsenal to sign the player. And Arsenal went in fast to obviously get this deal done and dusted, but it never really came in through as expected. So that is it from the side of Arsenal. And obviously, let me go into the live chat and see what you guys have to tell me. I'm having Tahoreho Henry Moses. He's one of those that obviously hollers at me and tells me, why aren't you really uploading videos, And I think he's more happy nowadays because he always has an early video that he wakes up on. Kutesa Hussein, Victor Osimhen, he's not 30 years. Hussein is saying that Victor Osimhen has 30 years. He's just 25 years of age. And on the 29th of December, he's going to be making 26. I know there is that age-rigging factor that is so much attached onto African players, and people believe that Osimhen is not young, but I believe Osimhen is young. When you follow him up from when he was playing for the under-17s of Nigeria, and how he went to, Belgium? From Belgium, he went to France. He has been he's a young player. Let's admit, guys, the guy is not old. The guy is young. Then Jamil Saad, mine is Gyokeres. All right. I hope you've gonna hit to put your vote into the poll, because after reading all this, I'm gonna come up and end the poll and see who you guys have gonna hit to vote in for. And Rahim Bashir, good morning, Rokani Media. With the signing of Calafiori, Kimmich, and Gyokeres, we're good to go. So I think for Kimmich, there are question marks because there are rumors coming in through from different sources in Germany that Pep Guardiola has gone ahead to convince Joshua Kimmich to join him. And I tell you, Pep will easily convince Joshua Kimmich to join him because they've been working together. They worked together way back when he was a manager of Bayern Munich. And if at all I'm not mistaken, he's the man that promoted him from the reserve team of Bayern Munich to the first team of Bayern. So for Kimmich, it is really going to be hard for Arsenal to get Kimmich. But for Calafiori, you get? For Calafiori and Gyokeres, I know Arsenal are really having a very good chance of really getting in this player to obviously coming through and do the needful at the club of Arsenal. So I wait for that and see how it's going to be panning out. But I tell you, it's really going to be a huge moment for Arsenal fans all over the world. Then Raheem Bashir, Dan, Henry Moses, Gyokeres is my number 9. All right, I understand he really likes Gyokeres. He even called me sometime and told me about how he really doesn't like Šeško. But for me, if Šeško was there, I would have gone ahead to go for Šeško. And he saw to it that Arsenal had gone ahead to go in for Benjamin Šeško first. But when Šeško said, I'm not coming, Arsenal shifted their guns to someone else. Then Richard Fenny, Gyokeres is more talented than Victor Osimhen. All right, let's wait and see. Rokani, I'm having Suzanne. He's going in for Gyokeres. Jamil Saad, Mr. Aradib. Hey bro, know the characters of African. Osimhen, he has like 31 years. Guys, I don't think Osimhen is that old. Osimhen is young. He's a young guy. He's 25. Henry Moses, Šeško was just young, but Gyokeres ticks all the boxes. All right. I believe that Šeško was all better than all those. That is it. But for Victor Osimhen and Gyokeres, I also don't know who is really better. But I want to hear from Arsenal fans really coming in through and telling me who is really better. Then Jamil Saad, can tell me if Calafiori comes, where is Jakub Kiwior going to play? Because also the guy is superb. Now, if you've watched the previous video I did about Arsenal submitting in a proposal for this guy known as Ricardo Calafiori, I told you that it's either Jakub Kiwior leaving or Zinchenko leaving, or those two leaving. Because if Arsenal bring in another left-sided centre-back who can play as a left-back, it will obviously send a message to Zinchenko that you are not really going to be playing into the team of Arsenal, because I find it hard for Mikel Arteta to bench Gabriel Magalhaes. Let's all admit, and you can all agree with me, that it's going to be hard for the side of Arsenal to bench Gabriel Magalhaes, meaning that if they are to convince Calafiori to come in through the club of Arsenal, they have to show him that he's going to be played as a left back and sometimes as a left-sided centre-back. You understand? And in so doing, there will be no space for Zinchenko, because in the pecking order for Arsenal, it will be Calafiori, Jakub Kiwior, maybe Julian Timber, Tomiyasu, and Zinchenko is going to be fifth fiddle. And I don't think he will really enjoy it. You saw to it that even before Calafiori will come in through, this guy last season never played very many games because because Kiwior, the other guy was Timber, and Tomiyasu really played him off the park. So I don't believe that it's really going to make sense for him to stay at Arsenal. But I believe Jakub Kiwior has a chance to stay, because Arteta might see Jakub Kiwior as a left-sided centre-back or a left-back. You understand? So we wait and see what decision is going to be made, because for me, I love Kiwior. You know that very well. And there are rumours linking him to Italy. And I know if Arsenal decide to sell him, he's going to come out and obviously do the needful and obviously put in a very huge shift into the mix. Then Henry Moses, watching you from Chigezi Highlands, Kabale, and our issues as Arsenal fans, we love Gyokeres. All right, thank you for loving Gyokeres, but there are those that are really divided, that they love Victor Osimhen. Tukahendo Oliver, good morning, Mr. RD. I want you to touch for me if Arsenal considering Gyokeres, Calafiori, plus on the squad Arsenal having, what can we expect in this team? Obviously, I was talking to someone and I told him that, by the way, even if Arsenal don't sign any player this summer, they'll come in through and compete for the title. And I tell you, you are going to see very many pundits this time round making Arsenal as favorites to win the league. You get? they are going to make Arsenal as favourites to come out and win the league. So, even if Arsenal don't sign any player, they have a squad that can compete favourably for the Premier League title and the Champions League. You get? But as you know, you need to strengthen to really bridge the gap between Arsenal and Man City. And we all know to it that what failed Arsenal to win the league, in my own perspective, I don't know whether you guys will buy it, was Arsenal not having a midfield of Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, complementing well with Odegaard. You saw to it that when they went ahead, obviously put in that shift, you saw to it that Arsenal went ahead to score in very many goals, and they really had a very good second half of the season. Now, just imagine if at all Arsenal kickstarts off the season like how they ended the season. Like they go on a 10-match winning streak. You understand? I think Arsenal are really favourites. For me, even if they don't sign in player. But the addition of Calafiori, he's called what? That name has not yet gone ahead to land well into my head. The guy is called Calafiori. Yeah, he's called. So Calafiori coming in through is a very huge impact for the club of Arsenal. Gyokeres coming in through will be a very huge impact, and other players to obviously help these players compete to the next level where everyone really deserves them to be. Then I'm having Adewale, Adeniyi. Gyokeres will be the perfect one for Arsenal. I would like Arsenal to buy the players they want to buy before the American tour. I think Arsenal will get in like 2 or 3 signings before they fly to the US. And I think one of those is Calafiori. He is a given because Arsenal might even put in a bid anytime from now, provided Calafiori gives them green light. Obviously, go ahead and obviously make a bid with Bologna. And I tell you, Arsenal have some good connection with Bologna because they went ahead, obviously, signed Tomiyasu from Bologna. If at all, you've gone ahead to forget. Ambitious Dennis, Gyokeres, all right. Robert Kennedy Katumba. But already, I'm worried about Arsenal because Arteta already signs his players at the starting of the window. But now, nothing is materializing because of the Euros. That is it. If the Euros were not into the picture, I tell you, Arsenal would have already gone ahead to land in all their signings. That is it. All right. We go to Ola Lekhen Fadey. Osimhen is my number 9. All right. Masiko says, for me, I prefer Gyokeres, Nico, and Ricardo, and finally Onana. So he's talking about Nico Williams, talking about Onana, he's talking about Gyokeres into the mix. Not bad pick. Emma Sikio, Gyokeres is the best Rokani Osimhen, an African player, and Africans are not good at lying, and Africans are good at lying their age. Sisiko from Uganda. Thank you for watching in through. But I think gone are the days when you hide your age. That is it. But they'll check your bonds and really carbon date them and see whether they are in line with exactly what you are really thinking. Then we are having Raheem Bashir with the signing of Calafiori. Martinelli will hit his form next season. I don't think that Martinelli's form was all about who was playing at the left back. That wasn't the case. The case was simple. The guy was off. And every time he tried to obviously retain his form, he got what we call a setback of an injury. So to me, that's what I think. And I believe in a lot of people going in for the fact. And the fact is, it was Martinelli's season off. And we hope that he switches on the time he returns to play for Arsenal. Then Robert Kennedy Katumba, more so Manu is working, so it's prolonged problem of operating without structures. Now Asworth already joined Man United. Arteta must wake up. This is Robert in Doha. Yeah, when I was doing my recent video that I just posted onto the United Matters channel, I did a video and I told people that, I tell you, the most worried man is not Arteta, it's Pep Guardiola, because he knows it when the structure of Manchester United really gets upright, because it has been bent for a very long time ever since Alex Ferguson really left. And with the football management structure changing, Manchester United has been lacking a lot. But right now, United has gone ahead to get in the perfect people. CEO Aumal Berada, sporting director Dan Ashworth. You can talk about this other guy called Jason Wilcox, technical director, head of recruitment. That is Christian Vivel coming in through from Germany, and Erik ten Hag is really excited to work upon this because now it is really gonna get to where I want it to be. I've always gonna hate to pray to it that United gets back to where I deserve it to be. And where did I deserve it to be? To be having a complete structure that knows how to manage a game of football. And these people are coming in through with experience. And all my prayers are that Arsenal and Man United get back to where they are. And I think after all those years of Man City dominating the Premier League, I think it's high time City got to where they belong. That is it. If United and Arsenal team up to obviously pile pressure on Man City, it's not going to be good, because that means it will be very hard for Man City to collect 6 points from Manchester United, as they've always gone ahead to do, meaning that it will create some reduction of space and all will be going on well. Jamil said it's better to let Zinchenko leave because Calafiori is a versatile with Julian Timber. And by the way, you might be shocked next season. People like Benjamin White, that people have always gone ahead to love as right backs for Arsenal, might find themselves on the bench, because if Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes are really undroppable, then that means Julian Timber will be tried onto as a right back sometimes, and Calafiori will try it as a left back. Meaning that if Julian Timber comes in through and beats the Timber we know, there is no reason as to why Benjamin White will obviously start ahead of him. And Arteta, he's not a manager who really picks players on favoritism. He picks you on merit, and we'll be here to wait and see how things really pan out for that side. Olayinka, Obasanya, Gyokeres, Henry Moses, already. From your perspective, which players do you think will make the first 11, and compare for me Haaland versus Gyokeres? Guys, I think that should be a video for tomorrow. I'm going to really record a video here and show you their stats. Gyokeres versus Haaland. You get edge, heights, their goals per 90, average touches per 90, aerial duels won per 90, grand duels won per 90, the presses, and even what we call the heat map. The average distance, the average per game. I'm gonna come in here and obviously break it down into the mix. But Rokani, let us about Nico Williams transfer and how far it is so far. Arsenal are really well informed about the deal, but they are not really in for it. For now, they are in for Calafiori. After Calafiori, Arsenal will try to obviously get in another deal. And it said they are going to be going in for none other than Victor Gyokeres, not Nico Williams, unless otherwise something else changes, but they'll go in for Nico Williams. Now, let's talk about Nico Zaniolo. Here we go, sounded today by Fabrizio Romano, and he first told us early in the morning that Atalanta are closing in on a deal to sign Nico Zaniolo from Galatasaray. Agreement at final stages. Zaniolo wants to leave once the move, and just small details are being clarified. Zaniolo will become new Atalanta player soon, after story reported weeks ago. Here we go, soon. And just 2 hours back, Fabrizio Romano sounded it that Nicolo Zaniolo to Atalanta, here we go. Agreement done with Galatasaray as revealed earlier today. Details also fixed. Zaniolo joins Atalanta with medical tests to follow in the upcoming days. So the guy has gone ahead to join the side of Atalanta in Italy. That is Nicolo Zaniolo, going back to his roots. And Fabrizio also added that Atalanta will pay 6 million euros loan fee, salary also included to Galatasaray for Nicolo Zaniolo, plus 14 million euros, plus buy option release clause. The buy clause could become mandatory under certain conditions. Medical tests booked on Thursday morning. So Nicolo Zaniolo was one of the exciting players when he was playing in for AS Roma when Jose Mourinho was still there. And very many teams are really looking at him, and he was exciting. When Bournemouth came for him, he said no to them because Juventus were really trying to obviously sign him. And when Juventus pulled out of the deal, there came in a team from Turkey known as Galatasaray that paid for him. And obviously, the player was like, you should put a 35 release clause into my contract. And after him playing like some 6 months, Aston Villa went in for him, and Unai Emery brought him in the Premier League. And in his full debut season in the Premier League, he failed to impress because Aston Villa has been having players in the caliber or category of Moussa Diaby and Leon Bailey that he couldn't obviously beat, and he couldn't impress, and that's why his agent was told by Aston Villa that his deal is not going to be made permanent right now. So after that, they had to obviously look elsewhere, and guess what? They're going to have to find in Atalanta as their best destination to obviously coming through and really play. After the medical, I'll come here and tell you what is going to have to happen for this deal. Now, let's obviously go to the other guy, Nuno Tavares from Arsenal. We've gotten a story from Sky Cave telling us that Ajax are considering a move for Arsenal left back, that is Nuno Tavares. Now, Tavares is a very good player. We all know. He's really one of the best players that I think their character has failed them from becoming the players they are. You know, he's a very good player, but the problem is he's sloppy. You know, he can play very well, sorry about that. He can give you some good 80 minutes and some trash 10 minutes to cost your team. And when he came in through at Arsenal, he was really impressive. But guess what? He couldn't, I think, follow the instructions of the manager. And in the modern game, if you don't really play on the instruction of the manager will be like, all right, you are not going to be kicking my ball. That is what modern football is all about. So as it stands, I believe that this guy is really gonna put in a very huge shift at Ajax. And I think if at all he needs to obviously revive his career, Ajax is the place to be. And Arsenal can use this to build their rapport with Ajax very well, because they got Julian Timber from that side, and then they also want a player known as Hato, and I think next season Hato will leave the side of I believe Hato will leave the side of Ajax, and one of the teams that Arsenal and one of the teams that really like Hato is Arsenal. And you never know, next summer Arsenal might be like, let's get in Hato, let's get rid of Gabriel Magalhaes and get in Hato. So for me, Tavares was really a very good player, but I think his discipline is going to hit to cost him. Remember, at Marseille, there were certain alarms from the manager that he was even banned from training with the first team because of his indiscipline. Even at Nottingham Forest, the same issues have been raised on the player, and that's how people waste their talent. And I tell you, he has a structure to play in the Premier League, and he has all what it takes to be a very good player, but he has gonna hit to cost himself because of his bad indisciplinary action. So wait and see how that pans out. But Ajax are pushing to obviously sign Nuno Tavares. But there are very many teams, that are really pushing to sign Nuno Tavares, and would love to see where he's going to be playing next season. And when a deal is cracked, we'll come out and tell you. Like we're going to hit to see Albert Samuel Okonga agreeing a deal with Sevilla, and he has going to hit to greenlight them to obviously talk to Arsenal to obviously find out a better deal. And that of Nuno Tavares will be like he'll choose where he wants to go ahead and really play. That is it. I'm having Masiko, but Rokani, please let us share about Nico transfer. It's not really close. Then Robert Kennedy Katamba, but I think Ateta needs only 3 players. Central defensive midfielder like Bruno Gyokeres, top number 9 who is proven, and 1 player who can revive Bukayo Saka. No need of those Calafiori. Now, you'll never understand the Arsenal project, like how Arsenal is going to hit to understand it. Fabrizio Romano told us at the beginning of the summer transfer window that Arsenal looking in for a left back, a right winger, a central midfielder, and a number 9. They're looking in for 4 players. Arsenal are looking to bring in 4 players. So, Calafiori is needed. I tell you, he's needed because if he can obviously give you that width and that Zinchenko role more, and he's really defensive, why not really get him a player who can obviously take you off the nipple of the needle, or the tip of the needle, each and every time they attack Zinchenko, right? Bruno Gyokeres, I don't think that Arsenal will go in for him because right now Newcastle will obviously call in for a lot because they've also gonna hit obviously get in more money. You know, I think they've sold a player to Brighton for £35 million, and there might be no need for them to sell. Moses, I hope you record it as a video. First of the Gunners and Gyokeres versus Haaland. Yeah, I'm gonna re-record that. I'm really gonna record that, but tomorrow is really gonna be busy. I have to bring you the match preview, Spain versus Germany. Then I have to get you the match preview of Portugal versus France. You understand? And I'll try to obviously fix in those videos and see to it that you guys really get the best that you deserve at the club of Arsenal. Now, Lumagajo John RD, thanks for the update. Thank you. Then Adewale, what about Kadioglu of Turkey? Is Arsenal still in the deal? The moment Arsenal is gonna hit, obviously go in for for Calafiori. That means Kadioglu, it's out. Arsenal out of the Kadioglu deal because they believe he's valued at 21 million euros, and the team that he plays for wants 35 million euros, and Arsenal is like, we cannot pay that. Paying 35 million euros, we can easily add 15 million euros and obviously get in Calafiori, right? Then Glenn, everything Arsenal. Oh, Glenn, thank you, my brother. Glenn, by the way, for your information, follow Glenn, follow this channel, strictly. It does strictly Arsenal. Let me pin it up here. All right, let me pin it up there. You can follow the guy, right? He's known as Glenn, and he does some good content. You're gonna hit to view or to see him when he's really doing things for he records videos with Kosi, you know Kosi very well, and you can as well follow him up. He's talking about Calafiori, and obviously Calafiori is the guy because if at all you see him, he gives you Zinchenko vibes, and he's really defensive. Now he's a Zinchenko who is really good at defending, you know. And I tell you, his composure is really compared to that of Lisandro Martinez. You know, for me, I've always told you that Lisandro Martinez is the best technically gifted defender in the world. I've gonna hate to see in the modern era, but I've gonna hate to see Calafiori, and he has gonna hate to obviously show me that he has those technical attributes. He's the best description of a press-resistant player. That is the guy. That guy is really good. And I tell you, everyone who is saying that they don't need Calafiori, wait a little bit. He's going to come in through. He's going to be in the US as you guys play against Manchester United, Liverpool, Leverkusen, and Lyon in the 4 games you're supposed to play. You'll tell me later, and you'll thank me later, that Rokani David, you told us the truth. Like, I've gonna hate to say it about Kai Havertz, and Havertz is gonna hate to prove you wrong. So I tell you, he's gonna really silence you all. Those that believe that Calafiori isn't the guy, he's gonna show you what he's really good at. I tell you, he's going to show you that he's the guy. So follow Glenn, everything Arsenal. Follow that channel, guys. He does strictly Arsenal news. You can as well find some good news in there for you. He is always at the Kosi Arsenal podcast, right? So you can really watch three of us, because however much we are doing stories that are the same, but we have different narratives and we have our different vibes altogether. So you can as well visit Glenn, visit Kosi, and then visit Rokani Media Football. Data is all that you are consuming, not so. I'm having Adeni, Onana, Gyokeres, Zubimendi, Ol Merino. Who are we buying? Guys, for the midfield at Arsenal, I think a lot is still not into the light. It's so much in the dark. Arsenal is going to shock us on who is going to be their midfielder to bring in. I tell you, they're going to shock us because the list is really increasing. There is Fofana Yusuf, 20 million euros. Yao Neves, 100 million euros. There is this other guy. Zubimendi, Onana. Now there is Gyokeres. Arsenal has like 6 players to choose on. You know, this market has very many. There is even Ederson who plays for Atalanta. So I cannot come and tell you that Arsenal are really going to bring this kind of player. But all I know, Arsenal is working to bring on a midfielder. But NB, for any midfielder to come in through, it will depend on the situation of Thomas Partey. If Arsenal decide to keep Thomas Partey, they won't get in any midfielder. If they decide to sell Thomas Partey, that will be the benchmark for Arsenal to get in another player. Now, I'm having Glenn. Thank you, my friend. Love your work. I love your work too. And I watch you. And I really enjoy your live sessions with Kosi, you know, on both of your channels. So thank you, my brother, for obviously being part of this channel. And we always support you. And thank you for reciprocating the love. Thank you. Tibaijuka Robert. I already followed Glenn. Yeah, thank you. Then to Message Daniel. Calafiori is so good. Let Arsenal get him. The guy is good. The guy is good. And Arsenal has gonna need to take their time to obviously get this deal done and dusted. And if at all you feel like you are really a doubting Thomas on the quality of this guy, let him come in through. The rest is gonna be history. That is it. Now, Glenn, how is Nigeria? Glenn is from Kenya, and we love as well, but RD is always neutral when he's giving his views, all right? But Glenn is from Kenya, not Nigeria. Robert Kennedy Katamba, Zinchenko, Tieni Tomiyasu, Timba, Kivio, now Calafiori. RD, what's that? I told you that Calafiori coming in through, it's meaning that Zinchenko doesn't have a place at Arsenal. I tell you, if you hear that, Calafiori to Arsenal is a here we go, expect Zinchenko to look for a team elsewhere, because there is no way he's going to compete ahead of Calafiori, Jakub Kivio, Julian Timber, and Tomiyasu, all playing that position. And for Kien Tierney, he's leaving. He's leaving, and Arsenal really going to sell him. Then, Kahendo Oliver, Arsenal need no 6. But who? Arsenal need no 6. Oh, not no 6. Haven't got your statement. Do they need a 6 or they need no 6? I'm having Tibaijuka Robert. Why can't you join them and you talk about our transfer news when you are 3? Mr. Kosi, Glenn, and you, Mr. RD. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it and see how it obviously comes to pass. And we'll try out something one day. We'll try out something one day. 3 of us, as we obviously do the needful and obviously see how everything goes on. You know, we'll try it out, guys. You know, you, the people who view this channel and view our channels, are the ones who really set the trend when it comes to what we are going to be doing, right? Then having Peter Bagonza already also make collabo with Glenn. Sometimes we are impressed by your analysis. All right, we'll try to do something. Jamil Sad, but in the CDM I prefer Bruno Gyokeres. That is it for me. I've also said if I'm Arsenal, if I'm Ateta, if I'm Edu, I would break the bank and get in Bruno Gyokeres, because the guy is just good. He's just good, you know. But all that depends on the situation of Thomas Partey. That is it. Kahendo Oliver, we request a video between RD, Kosi, and Glenn. All right, it will drop, guys. Relax and float. It will drop. Beresford Femi Benedict. Good evening, Mr. RD. Please tell us about the hot cake for Arsenal right now. The hot cake for Arsenal is Riccardo Calafiori, Italian. He can play as a left back. He can play as a left-sided centre back, and that's what is really hitting up at the club of Arsenal. And is that guy that you might hear a "here we go" sounded anytime from now if at all the proposal of Arsenal is accepted, because Arsenal won't really try to mess around this deal. What they're doing is they are fighting with Chelsea, and they don't want obviously give any room for Chelsea to come in through and obviously kick in. What they want is simple: go get in that guy. And I think no sooner they get the green light than they submit their 50 million euro bid. And remember, it's a 50 million euro bid because a team where this guy came in from, that is Calafiori, has a 50% buy clause, you know, or sell on clause. So that it's called the sell on clause. So that is it. So that is the hottest cake in town for Arsenal. Calafiori is the hottest cake that Arsenal is really trying to obviously buy and really purchase. That is it, coming in through from the side called you guys. I'm gonna hate to end the poll. 88% of you have gonna hate to say get in Gyokeres, right? And the rest of the players, the rest of the people, 11% are calling in for the signing of Victor Osimhen, and 1% don't really know. So guys, I sign out for now. See you later. Thank you for always being part of this channel. I'm out, guys, and let's obviously continue doing the needful by really subscribing to this channel, and don't forget to do the needful and obviously subscribe, right? So Tibaijuka Robert, lastly for me, I really like Edu, how we do transfer. You found when they like 5 players on one position, they are looking to get one. Yeah, that's what Arsenal does. 3 players bare minimum, but they also have more too. You can even go, they can scout 10 and choose out the best. And Adewale, Adeni, a big thanks to you, Rokani, Kosi, and Glenn, for updating us on the Arsenal transfer. All right, here you can as well be touring those 3 channels for the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Jamil Sad, the reason why I believe Bruno Guimaraes in the CDM can allow Rice and Odegaard in the opponent box, obviously, and he can also make those late runs in the box to obviously put support to these other 2 players. He can act as a support organ. Then there is Otabong Joel Steven, Get Me Calafiori, Gyokeres, Zubimendi, and a backup goalkeeper. Done. You're right. You're that. Gyokeres, Zubimendi can also do the job, and obviously the rest will be history into the mix. So guys, thank you very much. I'm signing out for now, right? See you when you see me. And don't forget, obviously, subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I'm coming up with another upload in the next 1 to 2 hours. The upload is gonna be up. It's a here we go.